I've been a diligent collector of baseball cards for 40 years, and I have never, not once, sent any of my cards in for grading. Here's why. I have a lot of cards, complete sets, team sets, and lots of other bric-a-brac. Tens of thousands of cards, all gloriously ungraded. Truth be told, I do own 10 graded cards, all Bryce Harper rookies in SGC 10 slabs that I have purchased over the last 2 years to run a little card investing experiment. Outside of these few slabs for this one purpose, I don't own any graded slabs. Sure, I've had to buy cards in slabs before, because so many of you knuckleheads have sent cards in for grading that sometimes I have no choice but to buy a slab. But my first duty upon acquisition is to break them free, and I keep the proof. I will admit that there is a place for third-party authenticators, especially for ultra-high-end stuff. The 52 Mantle, the 34 Gaudy Babe Ruth cards, and the like are great examples of the need. But here's the thing. The more that collectors rely on third-party graders like PSA, SGC, and Beckett, the less they learn about the cards for themselves. My first objection to card grading is that these companies do not exist to serve the hobby. They don't exist to serve you, and they certainly don't exist to serve me. They exist to make money. Every decision they make is about how to extract more money out of an otherwise existing marketplace. And think for a second about just how big that marketplace is, aside from the cards. They are extracting money at every opportunity. The same is true of the baseball card companies, too. Their job is to make money, and they will charge as much as they possibly can for their new product, because their new product is the only way that they can increase revenue. A transaction of a card from 1965 or 1985 or 2005 doesn't help their bottom line. And as long as you keep buying $400 and $500 and $600 boxes of new product, they're more than happy to keep making it and keep raising the prices. So you have your cards, and you want to send them in to be graded. Okay, you need a very specific sleeve to do that. And PSA is all too happy to sell you the only card saver they are willing to accept, which is a very specific size. And you can sure as crap be assured that PSA and Cardboard Gold Inc., the maker of the Card Saver 1, needed for submission, have a revenue-sharing agreement of some kind. Ultra Pro, not to be outdone, has a PSA-branded submission kit, and there is another revenue-sharing or branded agreement that goes along with that, too. Then you need to ship the cards, which means the cardboard box maker gets a piece of the action, and the bubble wrap maker, and the shipper too. They all get their cut. Then you pay the grading fee, which now has been bumped up to $28 a card in some cases, unless you pay the $200 a year subscription fee, because of course there's a subscription option, which saves you $10 a card. So your $28 fee, and your $5 or $6 of shipping supplies, and your $5 or $6 of shipping cost means that now you're $40 deep to send your card in. And then the best part. Some schmuck with very little knowledge or experience with baseball cards at all looks at your card for 1 minute. 1 minute. There are no doubt a few real card sharks at these companies whose breadth of knowledge far eclipses that of you and me, but they're only there for the Mantles and the Gaudy Ruths. The rest of the cards just get some jabroni who's been grading cards for all of 6 months, who in a minute or less gets to determine what our cards are worth through the assigning of a numerical grade that at best seems arbitrary. I refuse to relinquish my own expertise and preference to that jabroni. I've spent decades handling antique sports cards. I know their touch, I know their feel, their smell. Running my finger along an edge to tell if it's been trimmed, holding it up to a light source to check for thickness and fiber count. It's a learned skill, and one that requires the touching and the handling of the cards. The more cards that go into slabs, the less there are to touch and experience. Then there's the slabs themselves. Tastes have changed so much over just the last decade that the values of early slabs have gone way, way down. The grades are unreliable, they say. Grading standards have changed, they say. I want my slabs all to look the same, they say. And I get that, as we collectors are a persnickety bunch, and wanting uniformity in a collection is totally understandable. But once you lock yourself into a look, it will only last until the slab gets a makeover. And then what? Send your old slabs back to the same company to be reholdered for another $20 or $30 a card, and likely have the grade lowered while you're at it? No thanks. You like the tuxedos of SGC? PSA noticed that, and too many of you are sending cards to them. So PSA pulled a little Standard Oil and just bought them out, telling everyone, don't worry, nothing will change. And then, of course, a few months later, they start to turn off the oil pumps. What was becoming a juggernaut will soon be a boutique, and I suspect it will disappear altogether. At which time, PSA will no doubt offer a $10 reholdering special or some such nonsense. Anyway, to squeeze a few extra drops of blood out of this riverbed of rocks. Then there's this recent business about upcharges, and shout out to the companies that don't engage in such predatory practices. Everyone's favorite carnival barker and human eye roll, Jeff Wilson, got himself into a little hot water with recent braggery regarding a $5,000 upcharge. Upcharge equals ransom. PSA holds your card until the owner acquiesces to the demands of the kidnapper. But only the owner of a card or any asset can determine what it's worth when they choose to sell it and agree upon a transactional price. That's worth repeating. Only the owner of an asset can determine what it's worth when they choose to sell it. When we seek an appraisal, an expert will give you an opinion of what the asset might sell for in a variety of settings. But that's all it is, an opinion. It's fleeting, like the spot price of any shitcoin trading away on Coinbase. And anyone who's ever watched Antiques Roadshow knows it is hugely unethical for an appraiser to offer to purchase an asset they are asked to appraise. But that is exactly what PSA is doing now. They charge a fee for the appraisal. They tell you what it's worth. Then they make you an offer based upon their own appraisal. They created the market, control the prices, control the storage, and now seek to control the transactions too. They have no incentive for card values to decline ever. They have every incentive to drive prices higher through any means, and every incentive to keep creating new ways to extract fees from the hobby. Now, I don't lament PSA for this business. That's capitalism. That's America, man. Go out and make your fortune. And if you as a collector want to participate in that machine, grab some lubrication and jump into the gears. Start a registry. Go all in. But at that point, the company wins. This desire to extract my dollars by any means necessary grows weary on my collecting soul. Maybe I'm just an old man yelling at a cloud, but so much of what I love about baseball cards and collecting is in the tactile input. The feel of thumbing through a stack of cards. The feel of holding history. This card is from 1886, very nearly 140 years old, and here I am holding it with my impeccably clean hands. It smells like tobacco. I kid you not, it still smells like tobacco. And I wish every collector could have an opportunity to catch the distant hint of tobacco leaf and lignin. It's worth saving. It's worth it. Thanks for watching. Let me extract some of your hobby dollars by commissioning some custom card box dividers. Send me an email at philliesbaseballcards@gmail.com to talk about